cartoon cartoons.
And more, make the dusty, fit and more dusty.
You're watching Established Chernobyl. Wait a minute, who are you?
Me? I'm Taffyta, and this is Candlehead, and that's Rancis. So, nice to meet you, Chloe.
Well, nice to meet you. So, are you ready for the reaction video?
Oh, sure. So, today we're gonna be reacting to the Price is Right Decades review. So, let's enjoy the video. Action.
Get ready for Mario time. Viewer.
Now, I'm sure some of my regular viewers of my reviews must be saying to yourself,
The Price is Right. Still gotta keep the money. We still got the money, huh?
How many times is he gonna review the same game?
Still got me.
Honestly, I wasn't planning on reviewing this game. I was only planning on playing it for fun until I saw it was completely different from the other two Price is Right games.
So silly about the game show.
I say it's different because
Still
there are
don't
no
like
three
this
strikes
one.
mode or a single player full game mode. This time around, it's only the most stripped down version of the game. However, does the simplicity make the game better to play? The answer is, yeah, kinda. The story revolves around, I said story. There is an actual storyline in the single-player game. The story is about you being charged with the task of labeling a box of VHS tapes of all the Price is Right shows. Seriously, Ubisoft?
Hey,
VCR
VHS.
tapes? I get it.
You're gonna
shows
choose
in
a
the
me.
80s and 90s.
Still
But
definitely
who
a
was taping
me
shows in the late
too.
2000s? Anyways,
Still
after you watch
definitely
the
a
show, they'll put a
flashback.
label on the tape and put it on the shelf. Now, I don't know what kind of a person keeps a shelf of one tape a year of The Price is Right. The game starts out like the TV show, with the intros and words that come up to get you excited. And depending on the time period you're watching, the intros and the exciting sentences change. Then the camera will pan and find you in the audience.
The Price is Right! Still definitely a winner. Don't take my own time.
Kids, because it's gonna get bright.
That's crazy.
The game is broken down into 4 sections like the real game. Contestants row where 3 other players try to get the closest price of the prize without going over. After that, you move on to a random pricing game. They usually have you guessing the prices of prizes in very fun and entertaining ways. I would get into more specifics, but they're all different, and it's impossible to pigeonhole them. After that, you go on to the showcase showdown.
Man, that's
where you spin a
definitely
wheel
the
against another
commercial
person
for all.
to see who can get closest to $1 without
That's
going over.
much like
And if you
it.
win that, you and another person will go guess the price of 1 or 2 showcases without going over. The whole gimmick this time around is that all the correct
This
prices
is
for the
serious.
prizes are for the time period. So you're going to often have to take wild guesses on how much stuff cost in those days. Now, overall, the gameplay hasn't changed at all from the other versions. However, the way you play it has been very dumbed down. Take the contestant's row, for example. You can't lose. The game will keep throwing prizes at you to price until you get one right. They also place you in the best possible position at the end of the line. So you can use the other players'
Man,
guesses as a barometer
still gotta
for what you should
contestants
guess.
on that
One of the
game
problems I
show
ran
for
up against
me, so
was
from
when I
now
would want to
on.
click past the announcer, you would just keep pushing the A button to get to the part you want. However, you could accidentally skip the prize description, and you won't have a clue on what you're guessing, because they wouldn't put a picture of it in the corner like you would think they would, and it was very annoying at times. The wheel was the best and worst part of this new game. In both games, I was railing on the fact that the game cheats like crazy in this part. And I do have to say they fixed this by dropping the other people spinning. You will always be the last to spin, and the computer will always have a total to beat. Usually the number was somewhere between 70 and 85 cents, but sometimes I saw it go up to
Man,
95.
that thing is
I
so
loved it. It
worthwhile.
speeded up the part that was always the worst part of the Price is Right games. However, I knew the creators had to do something to screw it up, and they did, majorly. Spinning the wheel with the motion controls was just a joke. You could no longer spin it realistically.
piece of that
Now you're
joke
lucky
now.
if you get a full spin. It was so frustrating to do a big thrust downward only to have it barely spin. And it wasn't any better if you just pressed the A button. It did the same amount of a spin. In fact, all the motion controls in this whole game were completely broken. Don't even try to bother to get the ball in the hole in the hole in one game. It's an impossible feat with these controls. The pricing games were really fun this time around, and I have to give Ubisoft credit. They found some games that I've never even heard of, like this Professor game, which was only played twice in the real
Professor
show.
Price?
And that was for a good reason.
Those are
it was
getting on
very
in my own
confusing. It was
time.
part trivia game and part pricing game. Most of your favorites are here, like the Golden
That's
Road,
definitely
Plinko,
hits one.
Cliffhanger, and most of the others you can think of. However, the Range game, Temptation, and Lucky 7 were all missing, which was strange. They had room in the tape collection since some of the years were just repeated pricing games with bigger prize amounts. Now, one of the more
Punchboard.
odd things was that when you do really well in a game, you'll be rewarded
got the
with
mini
fireworks
games
when
for
they show
all
your
time.
score. However, it's a little disconcerting that they're firing them indoors right next to you. I would be so pissed.
Very
Guys,
lucky.
do you mind not firing those right next to me? My ears are bleeding. I can't even hear anymore. Now, just like the other games, you can unlock clips from the real show to watch. All you have to do is win the final showcase of the show. However, there is no real incentive to do this, since the clips were just awful.
Try higher.
Higher? No. I'm just gonna lift this up and see if you're a winner.
It's a pretty good collection on the television
No.
now. Going
Is it
low.
here? No. Is it here? No. It was right there, folks.
Seriously, that's a clip you think is worth unlocking. Even though Drew's clips are terrible, Bob Barker's is not much better.
These three have been in contestants' row the entire first half of the show.
Man,
Once in our
that's
history,
definitely
we had
not
three
about the game
contestants
show on
stay
my
down there for
own.
the entire show. Maybe you'll do it too. It's fun.
Bob Barker?
The clips in the
Still
first Price is
dying.
Right game for the week were funny and worth the time to unlock them. The second one had all right clips, but these look like they just picked random moments and the creators just saying, yeah, that's good enough. There is also a multiplayer mode where you and a few friends can play the game, where you all play off the same prizes in pricing games. It was weird to play Punch-a-Bunch simultaneously
Higher,
with
huh?
someone else. However,
No,
I do have to
definitely
admit it did
higher.
make the game faster to not have to wait for another player to take their turn. Price is Right Decades was fun. It was an interesting twist to try and figure out the prices of products in the 70s and 80s, as they were so much different in price. I did find this one a little bit more enjoyable to play than the other ones, mainly because of the pacing and all the new games to play. However, the lack of real incentive to replay any of these games and the terrible motion controls is going to make me say if you have any interest in playing this Price is Right game, you will enjoy the game, but you should only give it a rent.
Well, I think that's it. So, see you next time.